somehow right. That's all time. That's all time.
Derek Jeter is top 3 shortstop.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Tanks and Tutties, presented by Tubbs and Frankie there. Back in studio, Frankie. It's good to see you. Good to have you back. Don't have to talk to myself for 50 minutes.
Good to be back.
Little quick one there. Little quick intro. This week, Dynasty, same episode as always. I'm not even going to run through it. Same thing we always do. It's a good week, great week. We got some fun games to talk about. College football slate was a little bit, it wasn't necessarily like disappointing, but it kind of brought us back down to earth per se. But we do have a lot to talk about college football. There was 2 very good games. Dynasty update. We only got 1 game in. We handled all of our offseason business on Sunday. And then it just so turned out that week 0, Mississippi State was on the schedule for my Minnesota Golden Gophers. So we played that game. Frankie's first game at Mississippi State at home, Minnesota coming to town, number 3 ranked Minnesota. And I absolutely beat the brakes off of you. Final score 56-14. Frankie threw 5 picks, 3 of them being in the second half. Let me get out my thoughts and then I'll let you hop in. I did screenshot or take a picture of the player of the game just to give you guys some stats. Actually, he was the national player of the week. There was only like 4 games, but Kendrick Lanier II, running back from Minnesota, my 98 overall running back, went for 140 yards and 4 tutters and a whole lot of receiving yards too on those screens. Those screens are deadly. Yeah, the team was humming. I mean, defense played great outside of the first couple drives. And then once Frankie threw that first pick, it was all downhill from there. It was just pick. I even got a phone call in the middle of this game from my girlfriend who I hadn't spoke to on the phone in a while because she was in Nashville, and I still beat the brakes off of you. There was a funny moment on an extra point. Frankie blocked it, and I kind of like looked away. I was up like 34-14, so I wasn't really concerned about it. And then my guy picked it up, and I ran it in for 2. It was just that was the summary of the game right there. It was a blocked extra point put in for 2. So what were your thoughts on the game and the team?
First half, I was actually impressed with my team. I was like, all right, we're moving the ball. We don't look bad. I think I only threw 1 pick in the first half. And honestly, like it was just a bad throw on my part. I shouldn't have even tried to make the throw that I did. And then second half was about when you got the phone call, and it just, I don't know if it was like I couldn't shit talk anymore because you weren't going to respond. So then my play just went downhill or what it was. I don't know. I mean, I think the team is going to be a lot better than what that first game proved. I think we just, had to implement the new system, new coach coming in, needed to make some adjustments. My quarterback wasn't originally the starter until we hit the offseason training, and he went up like 10 overall. I do think he's good. Like he's an 89 overall. I think he just got into a bad spot, started throwing picks, and it just snowballed from there. I don't know what my schedule looks like. If I had to make a prediction, this is at least a 7-win team.
I think your schedule was loaded. I think we both had a loaded schedule with ranked teams, but mine was a little bit worse.
I will say
those ranked teams.
My wide receivers are not grand. I think my highest wide receiver is like an 82, maybe an 84. It's going to be a lot of quarterback play. I'm going to have to move around a lot. At least I have a decent O-line. I think they're all 85 plus, which is nice. Defense is okay. I'm going to just have to recruit well. I don't know. This one, it's a bury the football type of game and move on to the next one. So
I think you need to stay at a school for longer than a year because I've been at Minnesota now this is my 3rd year. And my recruits finally came up and my team's absolutely fucking loaded. And this year is natty or bust for Minnesota. I told you in the game, I said, no matter what, at the end of the season, the first week, I'm taking the best offer. I don't care what it is. I'm leaving. But I mean, I have a loaded team because of all my recruits that I brought in. But after that first year of recruiting, I took it off because I thought I was going to leave. So my recruits are just going to get worse and worse. So I got a dip. So that's the plan. It's natty or bust really with this team. Played game 2 after you had gotten off on Sunday. Absolutely blew out San Jose State. It's natty or bust. I mean, I've got my quarterback's only 85 overall, and I feel like I'm using Michael Vick out there prime.
Speaking to the point of I need to stay to school for more than 1 year, I would have probably stayed at Kentucky for longer if I didn't get fired.
Yeah, I mean, that's on you. That's on you.
San Diego State was fun for a year. Tough to recruit there, though.
Yeah.
And I couldn't turn down a return to the SEC. I will say I thought about my offers. I know last week I said I had an offer from a big school to be a DC. I thought back on it. It was actually Clemson that offered me to be their DC. So I could have taken that too. I could have taken an ACC or an SEC. Is Cal ACC too?
Cal is, yeah.
Yeah, so I had 2 ACCs, an SEC, and then one.
See, the thing with D coordinator, though, is would we have made the rule that you have to only play defense? Like, that's not fun.
It could have been fun. I could have really honed in on my defense. And then
I don't really enjoy defense as much as I do running offense. So
100%, yeah.
But that's our update right now. Franke thinks I'm going to go to Pig State in the MCAA. If you guys haven't seen those videos, it's on TikTok. It's blowing up. It's the Minecraft football.
I mean, as long as you can keep your players safe, I think you're probably doing okay. It's a step up. So,
yeah. I'm very excited for this season. I hope we can play quite a bit, especially with the game dropping this weekend. I'm hoping college football doesn't get put on the back burner, but I think we can make an effort to get some games in. So, moving on then to locks and long shots. Locks last week, I only had one. Vikings Lions under. Bad pick. That's a bad hand up. Bad pick. Final score 31-29. So they scored 60 points. So 10 points over. Not good. That's a loss. So still 40-28-1 on the locks. I was thinking to myself, I need multiple locks. That's what helped me build this record back up because I was really close to 500. So I'm going with 2 this week. I'm going back to the well. Lions Titans under 46. I'm more confident in this one than I was for the Vikings game. The Lions defense, it's time to admit they're legit. The Titans offense is atrocious. So this final score for this game, I see 42-3 Detroit, honestly. Even if it's not 35-10 Detroit, that still goes under. A lot of options there.
Getting close to that under.
I'm trying to say that the Lions are going to blow them out, and it'll be still under because the Titans aren't going to score on our defense. So the Vikings offense, definitely not frauds, like I said before. They are at some points in the game, but they can make plays. So I'm more confident in this under. It's almost the same under as Lions-Vikings was. So I guess it makes sense, though. Titans defense is a lot worse than the Vikings, but the Titans offense is way worse than the Vikings. So the other play is Broncos minus 8.5 versus the Panthers. This was literally I need an extra leg. I'm going to take the Broncos because the Panthers are that atrocious. The Panthers couldn't score on one of the bottom 5 defenses in the league in the Commanders this weekend. I watched almost all of that game through red zone and never saw the Panthers with the ball. So that's an easy, just fade the Panthers. You'll have a good shot to make some money. Long shots then. Still open. Scuba Cy Young. Terrion Arnold over 2.5 picks. I'm going to talk about him later. Really turning into a great corner. Not getting the interceptions. Our team has 8 interceptions, and it's from 2 guys. They both have 4. And they're second place in the league in interceptions, right behind your guy, Xavier McKinney. So defense, cornerbacks run the North currently. But anyways, moving on. 3 picks, though. He can do that in 1 game. Last week, we had Bo Nix, 200-plus passing. This looked so good at halftime. I think he had 130 passing yards at halftime. The problem was they were blowing him out. Second half, Bo Nix almost ran for 200 yards. And second half, he made a couple passes, but then he didn't play like the majority of the fourth quarter. And he ended up finishing with like 160 yards or something. I didn't watch this game. I looked first half when I was going to bed. How many yards does he have? 130. Okay, I feel good. Woke up. Wow, he finished with 168. So that was just brutal. So this week, long shots I'm giving up. I'm not going to look deep for one anymore because I looked deep for that one. It was plus 115. I'm like, that's a long shot. I thought I cooked. I did cook. They just blew them out and it didn't work. So this week, I'm just throwing out a stupid Patriots money line versus the Jets. Drake May season. The Jets are a dumpster fire. Aaron Rodgers ruins everything good that ever it was. Plus 250. Take it. It's in New England. They need a win. The Jets are just going to keep losing. They got too many guys to share the ball with. Rodgers can't keep up. He's never had this many weapons in his life. Yeah, that's it. Patriots money line. Don't actually put U.S. currency on it. You'll regret it, but just for something, I had to throw it out there. So your locks and long shots, sir.
Yeah, my locks, I am 49, 36, and 1. Still open Packers to make the playoffs. Another win, getting closer to it. So like that, last week we went 1-2 on the locks. We had Clemson -21 versus Virginia. Absolutely disgusting beat. They were up, I believe it was 41-17 with about 4 minutes left. Ended up giving up 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes. So bad beat there.
What was more disgusting about it was that they gave up a touchdown with 2 minutes left, and then
They went
Virginia went for the onside, and then Clemson scored when they could have probably just milk clocked. They passed the ball. And then Virginia got the ball back and threw a 60-yard touchdown to cover. That's insane.
Yeah. I will note Clemson -20.5 killed my parlay this weekend. So
yep.
That one really hurt. Clemson might be on the do not bet list. We'll see.
I made $1.60 on Clemson -16.5 live. So
nice pick.
Thank you.
Then we had Packers Texans over 47.5 loss. This was also another bad beat. They scored 33 points in the first half. And then the Texans O-line sucked. Packers defense shut them down. And Packers just tried to run out the rest of the clock in the second half and kept it as close as possible. So ended up scoring 43 points, missed it by 4, should have easily covered, did not. And then the last one, the one that we did get a win on, was Tennessee +3 versus Bama. They won outright. So this week I'm going with 3 picks. We're going Eagles +2.5 against the Bengals. I don't know who I like in this game, but I like it to be close. I would take it at 3 if I could get it at 3. I just don't really want to pay the juice, so I'll keep it at the 2.5, play it there.
They're playing the Bengals,
Eagles.
for those that don't know.
I said that.
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyways, Eagles +2.5 against the Bengals. Like that, keep it close. Boise, UNLV over 65.5. Both teams are very high scoring. I don't think either's defense is that great. And it's a Thursday night game. So we need some excitement during the week.
Boise
actually
might
be Wednesday.
Ooh,
it might be Wednesday. Yeah.
I can tell you.
Ashton Genty's going to account for at least 21 points. So
Friday.
Okay. Well, it's a weekday game still. So.
That's a weekend day. If you ask me, Fridays are weekends.
Anyway, but Ashton Genty is my main point. He's going to count for at least 21.
God, he's so fun. Hey,
all I need is 40 points from the other teams.
Speaking of Ashton Genty, because we won't talk about him again, do you think he stole his stance from Gibbs?
No, I think Gibbs took it from him.
Oh, I don't think so. Gibbs has been in the league for longer than we've known about Genty, and he did it last year. I just saw a comparison today.
I'd have to do some more research.
Or is it a new study that running back coaches are realizing, hey, you can get more explosiveness standing straight up, whatever? Gibbs has a little bit of a crouch to him. Genty's literally standing straight up, checking his posture. Gibbs has a little lean. But I think it could be one of those things where it's running back coaches are like, ooh, studies show that if you stand straight up versus crouch. So, but I noticed that on Sunday. I'm like, oh, he looks like Genty back there.
Yeah, could be. Last one, we're going Miami -20.5. I don't remember who they're playing, but they're undefeated, and I know they're playing Florida State. Duh, Florida State's fucking buns.
Miami hasn't covered in 3 weeks.
Yeah, but Florida State fucking sucks. So
that's fair.
Give me Miami to win. Miami to win. Yeah. Dion to Florida State. That's my hot take. So Miami's winning by 21 though. So that's what I got for locks. Long shots, 26-59-1. We had a good week. We went 2-0 last week. Had Tennessee money line. They won outright. Had Wisconsin -13.5 as an alternate spread versus Northwestern. We finally made a game against Northwestern look easy. They covered that 2-0 this week. Wisconsin money line +202 at home against Penn State. We got to play spoiler. I love it. Already have, I think, commitments from Melvin Gordon. Oh no, Monty Ball will be there. He's been hyping it up. The team just looks good. I gotta take my team here. Then we're gonna take Cowboys money line +180 against the Niners. This is Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Sunday night, +180. Niners have too many injuries. Cowboys are coming off a bye. I feel like there's a stat about the Cowboys off the bye, but I don't remember what it is. So Hopefully it's not a bad stat. And then we're going to go Yankees game 1 money line plus 108 on Friday. Garrett Cole's on the mound. Dodgers don't know who's pitching yet. Probably going to be Yamamoto, I think. So I think it'll be low scoring, tight game. I don't really have a reason to take this other than I already have a future on the Yankees, so I want the Yankees to win. So that's what we got.
Let me ask you before we move on. What is more embarrassing, Michigan this year or Florida State this year?
Florida State, 100%.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, we can get into that later.
You can't go undefeated last year, miss the playoffs, and make a big stink about it, and then start the season 1-6 after getting a good transfer quarterback. Well, wow. Good in quotes.
Wow. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I would rather have DJ than what I have. I don't know, though.
Debatable.
Florida State's defense isn't bad when you look at their points allowed.
Yeah.
They just can't score. All right, moving on. The Tubbs pick tracker. Hand up, I fucked up. Forgot to go through every game last week and do the spreadsheet. I did 3 of them. I was going to ask you, do I force myself to pick a spread and total this week to catch up, or do I just skip that week and move on?
I think you just skip it and move on.
Okay. That's where I was leading as well.
I wouldn't force you to just – that's a lot of fucking picks.
It's a lot of picks, and it's very unlikely that I would have a winning week. And last week, looking at the games, I'm like, I would have picked this. I would have picked that. And so I figured it's best to just put my hand up and say, hey, I fucked up. I'll get you back next week. I literally don't have an excuse. I didn't really have a busy week. I was on my computer all the time playing games. I don't know what happened. I went in Sunday to check my picks, and I was like, oh, I didn't do these. What happened was normally at work, I'll do it on Tuesday. And then I guess I just assumed that I did, but I didn't. And then Sunday I went to check my picks, and I was like, oh, I didn't make any picks. So on to next week then for the picks. MLB quickly, just because we don't have much to talk about yet, I don't think. Huh?
Okay.
What? Oh, how'd your spreadsheet do?
52, 48, and 2. Not good. But what I've realized is my spread picks are really, really good. My total picks are what's killing me. I'm 56.6% against the spread, and then I'm 47% on totals.
Ooh.
And I realized the flaw is that about 95% of my games get picked for the under. So I need to fix something in my spreadsheet for that. But the spreads are doing good. Yeah, the spreads are doing good. I couldn't tell you what my best and my worst were. I didn't get a chance to look at that because I also forgot to kind of check it until today. Then I went through and put all the scores in. And
dude, it's tough, man. But especially the way I'm doing it. It takes me so long. I'm doing it definitely not the most productive way, but it works and it was fun. And I don't look forward to it anymore. But I'm back on. I did mine today.
One of my worst ones was Western Michigan at Buffalo under 48.5. It finished 48-41.
What was the score of that game? Oh, 48-41. Western won?
Yep. Yeah.
What was the spread?
Western -1.
Okay, so I would have won that bet because I've taken Western the last month just because Sid went there. That's one of the things is I know somebody that went there. Boom.
Best pick, Colorado +2. They won 34-7.
Who'd they play?
Arizona.
Yeah, see, I definitely would have taken Colorado too. God damn it. Now I'm pissed I didn't do it. All right, moving on. Back to baseball. We got the most chalkiest World Series of all time, Dodgers versus Yankees. I'll give my thoughts and I'll let you dive in. I don't want people to forget that I predicted this. I said Yankees over the Dodgers in our MLB preview, and I believe I even said it's chalky, but it's going to happen. And look at this. I mean, good job, Jake. Also hilarious that I predicted both MVPs and the AL Cy Young. However, both MVPs I went chalk with Judge in the AL and Shohei in the NL. I mean, that's just the chalkiest of chalk. But Scooble Cy Young is where I hang my hat. But yeah, pretty cool to predict that much correct about the season. How'd you do?
I think I went over on my World Series because I had Orioles Braves.
Yep.
So that was tough.
You kind of got screwed on that one. Braves got banged up.
Yeah, I think I had Scooble. I think I took 2 Cy Youngs for each. I took Scooble and I took Burns, which probably say both were top 3. And then I took
Burns
Wheeler.
dropped out. I think top 3 ended up being Reagan, Scooble, and Clase. We'll find out, obviously, when they vote, because they announced top 3, right?
I think
the
so.
finalists. Burns might go.
And then in the NL, I had Yamamoto and Wheeler, and Yamamoto is going to finish second, or not Yamamoto. Wheeler's going to finish second behind Chris Sale. So, MVPs, I don't think I did good. I think I took Harper and J-Rod. I think I took J-Rod. Julio Rodriguez. Ken Griffey
My
Jr.
chair is
third.
broken. Can you see me moving? Look at this. It can go side to side. That ain't right.
Mine's broken too. My left armrest comes fully off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I broke that a long time ago. But
ALCS, NLCS wrap up. The Dodgers Mets was kind of fun. Dodgers got them in 6. They won the last 2, right? They were up 2-1. No. Was it 2-2 at one point?
Let's double check.
I thought it was 3-1 and then the Mets won game 5. No, what am I talking about?
I think the Mets did win game 5.
Yeah, it was 3-1. Mets won game 5. And then the Dodgers won game 6 last night or 2 nights ago.
I kind of, outside of DFS for the playoffs, I've kind of been avoiding the playoffs, to be completely honest with you.
I watched some of the Dodgers games just because Javi's a big Dodgers fan. And then I did watch the Yankees Guardians game. I think that was game 3 in Cleveland. Big Christmas. That was fucking awesome. For anybody that didn't know, everybody saw that. Big Christmas with the game tying 2-run shot. Best bat flip I've seen in a minute. And then
the call.
Oh, the call was
Big Christmas puts a bow on it.
The initial raw reaction of oh my god, that dude wanted to say holy fuck so bad.
So that's actually the Brewers announcer.
Is it? He's awesome. What's his name?
I love him. Brian Anderson.
Yeah, he was
phenomenal.
He does
NBA too, college basketball.
His voice sounded familiar. When does Joe Buck come into play? The CS and World Series?
No, because he's ESPN now. So now it's Joe Davis with Fox.
That sucks because I feel like Joe Buck he was trash. He used to be trash. And now he has shown excitement more and more to a point now where it's like, I look forward to Joe Buck calling games. I
will say Joe Davis is good, but it sucks because he's the Dodgers announcer.
Oh.
And with being through Fox, the Dodgers are always going to be in it for the next 10 years. 25. So you're always going to have to worry about Joe Davis announcing fucking Dodgers games in the playoffs when no other team gets their home announcer.
Have you seen on Twitter? I don't know if I'm pretty versed in the Guardians Twitterverse now because of our matchup with the Guardians. But there is a lot of complaining about how, the Yankees and Dodgers, 2 of the 3 highest payrolls in baseball, blah, blah, blah. And they're bitching about how it's not fair and salary cap and blah, blah, blah. I also saw the Yankees clapping back saying, your owner's worth more than our owner. Tell him to spend money. And it's a valid argument.
The Guardians owner, I believe, is the 4th or 5th richest owner.
Yep.
Net worth-wise in all of the MLB.
Tigers fans were jumping in too, and then the Yankees were like, hang on, pal. Your owner's above us too. There's a little bit of an asterisk by that because the owner is the Ilitch family. So there's a lot of money between a lot of people. But I'm never going to complain about spending money because when we did try to spend money, we ended up with
fucking cheap ass for the Brewers is probably up there too. Yeah, apparently
he was below the Dodgers and Yankees at least because the Yankees were top 8, I think, with Steinbrenner. And then that's where they cut off their list, or else these other teams can be like, wow, look at us. We don't spend money and we did better than you,
Have you heard about the Brewers owner, basically getting in trouble for stealing beach sand?
No.
So apparently
For
he's
what?
got like a
For what
house.
purpose?
He's got like a house on some beach, I guess, and he was trying to build a house on some beach or something. And instead of buying sand with all the fucking billions of dollars that he has, he was trying to steal it from the beach.
Wow.
And people are like, "You fucking cheap ass!" Like,
I don't get.
if there's
how
any team that I
billionaires can be
want
cheap,
to get
dude.
sold, it's my own fucking team. I want a new owner.
Yeah, I don't get how billionaires are so cheap, dude. It's like you're not going to
Can
run out
I
of money.
can I put down $1 and become like a minority owner and make some decisions for the team?
Just revenue share it like the Packers do.
If only the Packers owners got to make decisions. But
Yeah. All right.
wait, actually,
who
no.
has-
I have one more thing about that. So I've never really understood this. If you're an owner of the Packers, you technically have a share of them, and the Packers make all this fucking money. Why do they not do like a earnings thing and give a kickback to all the owners?
I think because there's some sort of weird. I looked into this a long time ago, and there's some sort of weird technicality where you're not actually buying ownership. It's basically like it's a stock that it's somehow a legal stock that doesn't kick back at all.
Weird.
And it's
I don't
like, isn't it also, aren't the Packers are owned by the NFL, and the NFL splits it to the Packers fans and shit, I thought.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
I
some
don't
weird
really know.
gray area technicality thing. They're going to sell the team to Aaron Rodgers eventually, so it's like, why not just speed that up?
Don't even put that out there.
You know what I think Tom Brady's trying to do? For those that didn't see, Tom Brady bought a part of the Raiders. I think he's going to go get 5% of every team so he can say, I own 150% of the NFL.
That would be why.
It'd just be a funny thing to say, I think.
I don't know why the Raiders was his first one.
I don't know. Money. I mean, he's going to make so much fucking money from owning the Raiders. But I'm interested to see what it does with his job, because all of these things that he's not allowed to do as an owner, he has to do as an announcer, like critique refs and talk about how good players are that don't play for the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work for his announcing, but
let's get back on track here then. Who are you supporting in the World Series? Who has your support?
I'm taking the Yankees because I financially would like them to win. Honestly, I don't think I really care who wins it. There's been some good out of the playoffs, actually. So if you didn't know about the Brewers curse and how every team that beats them in the playoffs makes the World Series.
It's dead. Good.
Yeah, it's dead because the Mets lost.
Yep,
that's
good.
the first team that has not done that. So I think our curse is broken. There was also something else about the curse. I don't remember what it was. And it like lined up to the last time it didn't happen, like the next year, then the Brewers went to the World Series or something. I don't know. So Brewers World Series 2026, they're making an appearance.
I like that. So take the Brewers to win the NL at least. I like that. I'm backing the Yankees as well, just so I can be right and hit another one. That'd be all time. I wish I put my money where my mouth was on a couple of these others.
Quite possibly the most toxic fan base matchup.
No, I think Yankees Mets would have been next level.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say this is comparable to like Chiefs Cowboys, Patriots Cowboys.
Patriots Cowboys. If that ever happened when Tom was still there, yes, that's the one. Yep. Currently, probably Chiefs and Cowboys. Currently, I feel like there's a lot of Chiefs riders. Or Rams. Why do I feel like the Rams got a lot of random riders?
Yeah, but they're not annoying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Chiefs and Cowboys, though, for sure. College football. We'll start with Michigan. They're dead this year. There's not much else to say. I do have a stat that I found today that really grinded my gears. So we lost the game 21-7. I went into this game with the mindset of Friday, I convinced myself somehow they were going to win. Don't know how I did that. And Saturday, I woke up and I was like, oh, we're losing today. They lost 21-7. As I'm watching this game, I shifted my mindset into you have to go back to watching the games and you're just watching that game. You're not thinking future. Like last year with Michigan, every game I'm like, man, this looks like a team that can win the championship. It's not the case anymore. You got to shift your focus into how do we get better down the line. So I'm trying to sit there and enjoy the game. And I'm just trying to like big play, clap, big stop, clap. I couldn't do any of that because our offense is so unwatchable. It just grinded my fucking gears. And maybe it was because I was so blessed with J.J. McCarthy the last 3 years and him being awesome. No, last 2 years. And even like Cade McNamara, when he played for us 3 years ago, he did the job. And we don't have that now. And I was racking my brain. I'm like, am I spoiled or is this just otherworldly? It's otherworldly. This is the worst offense a defending national champ has ever had. 2, definitely the worst quarterback I've ever watched play college football. I feel like we have the worst quarterback room of all time. Here's the stat. In the second half, it was 13-7 at half. We were down. We drove down to get a score right before half. It was good. I was looking forward to it. Or looking forward to the second half. The defense only allowed 73 total yards in the second half. We lost the game 21-7. It is unacceptable that our offense couldn't generate 14 points minimum to tie to get to overtime or 17. And we got down there a couple times too. Tuttle threw a goal line pick. The fumbles are outrageous. The last 2 games we've had 5 fumbles. I'm sick of it. I can't watch it. And now this week we've got MSU at home at least. But I think we lose. I don't know how they're 5-point favorites. It makes no fucking sense. I guess because it's in Ann Arbor. But MSU's defense looks decent. Their offense is producing. They just beat a good Iowa team last week. Not looking forward to it. But it is a rivalry game. Our defense is going to play lights out probably. Take the under. That's all I got to say about that game. But we are rebuilding after winning a national championship, which I guess makes sense. We had a lot of people drafted. You lost the entire coaching staff. But the fact that this coaching staff, who was mostly in-house in December, wasn't like, ooh, these are our 3 quarterbacks. We got to go get somebody in the transfer portal. Utilize the resources. Go get a quarterback. Now, like we said earlier, I'm glad we didn't go get a young Galele because then I would have convinced myself that we could win another national championship because we got this 5-star prospect that hasn't worked out. So maybe it's good that we didn't go get him. But I just look at even Illinois' quarterback, Allmeyer. He was at Ole Miss. He transferred in. He's a serviceable quarterback. He's not great, but he throws the ball. He can throw a pass. It's just insane. And our defense is really good. I mean, our defense took a slight step back from last year, but it's unwatchable. We're 4-3 now, and looking at the schedule, it's going to be tough. You got Ohio State, Oregon. MSU this week is not a given. Who else is on the schedule? Let's see. Frick. Bear with me. It's loading. Michigan State, Oregon, Indiana. I think Indiana blows our backs out because they'll have their quarterback back probably.
Plus Oregon.
Huh?
I said plus Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon the week before Indiana. So we're going to be absolutely beaten and bruised going into Indiana on the road at Indiana. Then you got Northwestern. That could be a get right. And then you got Ohio State first year. Let's see.
3 more losses.
What did I say? 4-3? All right. So I'm going to say we beat MSU 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, 6. It's 6-6 is like best case scenario.
How's your O-line?
Our O-line is not good.
Damn. I was going to say, what if you just converted to an Army style triple option offense? Because that seems to be working this year.
That's what we did. The funny thing too is that USC game, obviously USC now not good, but that USC game we ran, and it worked. We won the game, and now we thought we had a guy that can throw the ball, and now we've lost 2 in a row in embarrassing fashion. So it'll be interesting to see what we do this week against MSU. I think MSU, they might run the ball like crazy. And then hopefully the defense gets a couple turnovers.
Is MSU in Lansing or in Ann Arbor?
East Lansing.
Sorry.
Oh, the game is in Ann Arbor. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's in Ann Arbor. So that's enough. I talked way too much about them. You'll be hearing less and less each week about Michigan until the week before Ohio State. I'll somehow convince myself we can upset them.
It's like the Tigers got good and Michigan got bad, so you just swapped them. You're like, you know what? Start talking about the Tigers, and we'll just forget about Michigan for a bit.
Yep. We should just, instead of talking about Michigan each week, I should just talk about how much fun that Tigers team was for a month and a half. That'll make me happy. That's what I should do. Your team, though, however, much better situation.
Yeah, I was going to say there's always room on the bandwagon. You already have a shirt. You could ride along with us. I said a couple weeks ago, I wanted to get fully back in. I said, I was like, you know what? I kind of just want to say, fuck it. I'm all the way in. I'm all the way in. Like, we have 2 losses. They're looking worse and worse by the week because it was USC and Alabama who now have each lost what? Well, USC is what, 4 losses?
Yeah, they just lost to Maryland.
Yeah, not good either.
They're actually under 500.
Yeah, they're 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
They're rough. But Wisconsin made Northwestern finally look like an easy game. We've struggled there for the last how many years? Actually, last year we made it look easy too. But did it again this year. Air raid is still kind of back. The running game is figuring itself out more and more each week. Tawi Walker looks phenomenal. Defense is really fucking good. If Braden Locke can just play a good game and not fumble the ball, which he seems to do every week, we legitimately have a chance to beat almost anybody. We have a very, very, very tough 4-game stretch coming up, including I'm pulling it up right now. Is it who's this week?
Penn State.
Yes.
And then you got Iowa
at home.
And you got bye week. Then Oregon, Nebraska, Minnesota. That's a gauntlet to finish the year for Minnesota or Wisconsin.
Yeah, luckily we do get a bye week in between Iowa and Oregon, which is nice. Realistically, getting Penn State and Oregon at home is probably absolute best case scenario. I think we're going to get very loud for all of these games. I legitimately think that so just hear me out. No counter arguments for a minute. You want to see how far back I am on Wisconsin. If Wisconsin wins out and goes, what would that be? 5, 6, 7, 8. If they go 10-2, we're 1 game out of Big Ten championship or Big Ten final right now. We can make the playoff. If we go 10-2 with wins over Penn State and Oregon, our only losses being to USC and Alabama.
Well, if you go 10-2 though, you win out, you would definitely be in first because you only have 1 loss in conference, and you would beat Penn State and Oregon. So as long as Indiana drops 1, or no, you would be guaranteed in the ship. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you would have a loss, Penn State would have a loss, Oregon would have a loss. You would have the tiebreaker. You played Indiana, so but look
now,
what you got to do to get there.
I'm not saying we're going to win out. I personally think in the next 4 games we probably go 3-1, 3-1. We lose one of Oregon or Penn State, but we win the other. I think we beat Nebraska. Nebraska looks fraudulent. Iowa looks fraudulent.
Yes.
Getting both Oregon and Penn State at home.
I'm shocked.
I think we could pull off 1. Yeah, you want to hear some fucking bullshit? Nebraska got a fucking ranking vote this week, and we didn't. We just beat Northwestern, and they got their fucking ass kicked.
That's because there was some sort of Nebraska alum that gets to vote.
Probably. It's fucking bullshit, though.
Nebraska's got better wins, I will say.
Yeah, and our wins don't look great.
Nebraska's only 2 losses are to the 2. It's Indiana and Illinois, both ranked in the top 20.
That's true.
It just so happens that the Indiana one was very embarrassing.
Yeah, but I'm fully back in on Wisconsin. I legitimately think we could go 9-3 and at least finish in the top 20, if not in the top 15. I think best case scenario is win out, make the playoff. I think my middle of the pack average season finish is probably, let's see, what are we now? 5-2, probably 8-4, and finish as a 23 to 25 ranking.
If you have 4 losses, you won't be ranked.
Yeah, but if it's to Bama, USC, Penn State, and Oregon,
they won't care. You didn't beat anybody.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Middle of the pack, going, 8-4.
Too much time on our teams. Our teams are mid. Sorry. We can talk about your second team though, Tennessee. They're not mid. Let's talk about them.
Yeah,
that game was a lot of fun. Watched the whole thing. Were we watching together or no? I don't think you were.
No. Well, I mean, we were texting in the group chat about it.
This game, it started slow. First half was slow. There was a bunch of missed field goals. Bama scored early in the second, and then it was 7-0 at halftime. And then the second half, it just popped off. It was like Tennessee tied it. Bama got the field goal. Tennessee took a lead. Then Bama took the lead back. Then Tennessee took the lead. And then Bama, what happened on their last drive, the second to last drive, rather, before your field goal? They drove down and something happened, didn't it? Did they turn the ball over?
Wasn't that where they threw the pick?
Let me see. I'll find out. No, that was the last drive. So they're down. Oh, which drive am I thinking?
Where am I here?
No, I'm
so
wrong. Tennessee's defense.
They tried to go for fourth down. Got a penalty. And then they incomplete pass on 4th and 22.
That's what it was. It was a ridiculous. Why are you going for it here? There was a bunch of time left, right? They had timeouts left. They had timeouts.
Yeah, 148 and 3 timeouts.
Yep. Tennessee's defense shut them down late in the game. So starting with 10 minutes left in the fourth, Bama went 3 and out. Bama went 3 and out next drive. Then they went downs on that play we just talked about. And then they got the ball back through a one-play pick to end the game. I got to say that it is a good thing that Tennessee has a great defense. Their defense is great and a run game because Nico is buns. When I watched that game, it's the first time I've watched the game in full. He makes like the wide open little dink and dunk throws, but he'll have receivers wide open down the middle, absolutely toasted the coverage, and he overthrows them. He hit one down the sideline. It was a very great throw, but it's like one of those things where it's like a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. And like you look at his stats, he never has stats. 14 for 27, 194 with a touchdown and a pick. But then you look at their running back. Is it Dylan Sampson?
Yep.
Incredible. 26 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's a sophomore, so it's not done chain for him, but the Joe Milton comparison is looking very likely. Joe Milton with like better vision. Like, because he always sees them when they're open. He's not throwing it up into double coverage. He just can't hit them.
What I literally just thought about this. I don't know why. He's like for my own personal team, a lesser version of Jordan Love. He will make very, very risky throws and will miss, like sometimes misses the wide open guy. But sometimes when he needs to make that fucking pass, he'll put a drop in the bucket.
Yep.
And like it's frustrating because he is young and maybe it's just like he's still learning college football a little bit more and like he just hasn't. I mean, he looked really good the first 2 games of the year when we were playing nobodies. Maybe that's because it was nobodies. Maybe
right.
I don't know. He has definitely struggled. Like him being good with his feet and good like getting out of the pocket is nice. But yeah, just the accuracy is a little concerning right now. I don't know. Like I wish I would have talked about this game more last week if I wasn't in the car. My whole reasoning for taking Tennessee last week was Bama and Tennessee have both been playing like dog shit. The difference is both offenses have sucked. Bama doesn't have a defense. Tennessee has a very good defense. And as long as Tennessee's defense played good, they would be in the game. And all they needed to do was have a better defensive game than Bama, and they would win. Now, I think if we make the playoff, they're probably going to get absolutely smoked in like the second or third game. But
I unfortunately have some bad news about Nico. You said he played good at the beginning of the season against nobodies. He did against Chattanooga, 314 yards, 78% completion. But then after that, it falls off. He had 70% completion against NC State, 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Kent State, not even going to count that game. He barely played. He had 62%, 1 touchdown, 170 yards. He barely played. But then you look at Oklahoma, 200 yards, 61%, a touchdown. Arkansas,
Oklahoma's
150 yards. Okay. No, they're not. 150 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Florida,
Arkansas's
160,
okay.
no touchdown, and a pick. Bama last week, we already talked about him not looking good. I did just realize, did they redshirt him last year?
I think so, yeah.
Because it says, ESPN says he's a freshman. So
yeah,
I guess you still have the excuse of he's young. But next year, I'm not going to let that off the hook. Next year, if he's playing like this, he's trash.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say he's trash, but I think if he starts the year next year like he's played the last couple weeks, then yeah, I mean, it's serviceable, but it's not exactly what you want as a program.
If Spencer Rattler can get drafted and start an NFL game, then Nico can too, probably.
Oh, 100%.
The other big game, just because we got to get going here, I don't know how we're already at 45 minutes. Georgia, Texas. A little bit of a letdown this game? Were you let down?
Yeah.
It was almost a
turn it off at half.
I didn't turn it off at half. I gave it a chance, and it got good for a second. It was 23-15 at one point on that controversial pass interference play. So for those that didn't see it, Georgia's on offense. Receiver, I'm just going to go with what I saw in my eyes. Receiver pushes off. Carson Beck throws a bad ball. It's picked off and returned almost for a touchdown. The refs call pass interference on Texas. It was such an egregious call that the fans are throwing bottles on the field. The refs called pass interference, announced it to the stadium, backed the offense moved the offense forward, and then the fans are throwing shit on the field. So they paused the game to clean it up. You know, Sarkisian's out on the field saying, stop. And then everything gets cleaned up, and the refs announced correction after discussion. It was pass interference, or there was no foul for pass interference, and it's Texas's ball at the 5. Kirby Smart was livid, as he should have been.
The refs got bullied into that.
Yeah. The refs are like, if we don't switch this, they got the call from Vegas, first of all. But they're like, if we don't switch this game's going to get out of hand. And they switched it. Texas scored to make it 23-15. But then Georgia just drove down, scored, and then never let Texas move the ball again. So a little bit of letdown. I was hoping for some sort of shootout. I also wanted Texas to win. I want Texas to be back. Makes no sense how Bama beat Georgia, but then loses to Tennessee and almost lost to South Carolina. They lost to fucking Vandy, who is ranked. They're ranked. We'll get to that in a second, though. Yeah, Ewers didn't look good in this game. There's now rumors that he's going to sit out the rest of the year to get drafted, is what I heard. But I believe he also squashed those rumors on his story, but I did not confirm that. I love college football for all these rumors. There's also
Holy shit. I just looked at the rankings for the first time.
It's
I
wicked.
didn't realize Bama dropped to 15.
Yeah, so that's the only other thing we got to talk about. We'll start at the bottom here. Vanderbilt 25th. I don't know that they've ever been ranked ever in my existence that I can remember. Pretty awesome. And then you got Navy and Army back-to-back, both undefeated, both ranked for like the first time since 1922 or something. So cool. Navy's got Notre Dame this week. That's a big game. Army's got Air Force. That's a big game. Air Force is trash. But then going up, just the names, man. SMU, Missouri has dropped. They were way up there at the start of the year. Pitt, Ole Miss, Boise out of nowhere. Bama at 15. A&M's climbing. Indiana undefeated at 13. BYU at 11. And then Tennessee at 7. I don't know that anybody saw that. Tennessee was mid last year, weren't they?
No.
Yeah.
They were a top 15 team the entire year.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No, they were bad with Milton. Because everybody was calling for Nico.
Bad, but
everybody was calling for Nico. 9-4. They weren't 15th. They beat Virginia 1-0, beat Austin Peay 2-0, lost to Florida 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. So right there was their peak. Was that Tennessee or Texas A&M win? Then they lost to Bama. They beat Kentucky 6-2, beat UConn 7-2. Man, they had a fucking fruity schedule. 7-3 lost to Missouri, 7-4 lost to Georgia, beat Vanderbilt, beat Iowa. So 9-4. That's a respectable year, I guess. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, just weird rankings, and it's going to be awesome with the 12-team playoff. I can't wait.
This is the perfect year for chaos.
And it has been chaos. We don't have any of the big dogs undefeated. I guess Oregon, Penn State. They're going to lose one eventually. Miami keeps somehow winning these games where it looks like they're going to get upset. It's a wild year. And then you got look at your one-loss teams: Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Tennessee, LSU, Clemson,
Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame's loss was
with
to
2
fucking
losses.
Notre Dame's loss was to Northern Illinois. That committee's going to try so hard to get Bama in there. It's going to be outrageous.
100%.
It's going to be outrageous. The last thing I want to talk about for college football is Indiana legit or is Nebraska fraudulent?
Both.
I believe so too. Also, Indiana's quarterback is going to miss some games. I saw he had surgery on his thumb or his finger or something.
Did not see that.
Something to watch. Anything else? I just wanted to hit on how chaos college football is here. I love it. NFL then. We'll go quick as we're kind of getting into the spot where there's a lot of games that don't matter, like Thursday night Broncos 33, Saints 10. Patriots, Jags won in London. Anything there?
Tank Bigsby's awesome.
Tank Bigsby better than ETN probably, which is crazy. And then Seahawks beat the Falcons. They were underdogs 34-14. Falcons. Was the hype too much with the swag and surf with Kirk Cousins?
No, something happened with Kirk. Kirk did not play well this game.
No,
and I don't know why.
And a tutter. Oh, he had 2 picks too.
The Falcons' defense just wasn't good either. So it was Kenneth Walker kind of ran all over him.
This fits what I said last week. I don't know if you listened to the pod. I said I think people are sleeping on the Seahawks. I was right. Should put my money where my mouth was. Bills and Titans. Bills blew them out. I have nothing here except for, did you see Amari Cooper's first touchdown with the Bills? Keon Coleman had to show him what route to run. He didn't know the play.
Yeah.
And then he caught a touchdown. Yeah. Pretty fucking cool.
He only played like 12 snaps too, and he had, 4 receptions?
Yep. Yeah. He's going to be he's a great receiver. It's crazy how, I bet you put Jerry Jeudy. If Jerry Jeudy came to the Lions right now, he would be doing the same things. It's like everybody's bitching about Jerry Jeudy being washed.
I don't know. Same
thing.
It's
just no. Sorry. He's not on Cooper's level, but it would be the same narrative of where was this when he was in Cleveland? It's like, dude, your quarterback is buns, but he got what was coming to him. Next game, actually, Bengals Browns. Score seems closer than it was. Bengals 21, Browns 14. Browns scored with a minute left with no timeouts. Shout out to Jameis. Deshaun Watson got his karma, snapped his Achilles.
Jameis, good guy for defending Deshaun.
Yep, Jameis, great guy, stand-up guy. But what are the Browns doing? Why was Jameis your emergency quarterback, and then DTR comes in, and then you switch to Jameis, and it's like, oh, this guy drove down and scored a touchdown. Crazy. Like, Jameis is good.
I can't wait to see the regret from the Browns front office when Jameis starts playing well and they start winning games, and they're like, damn, could have had this entire time with Amari Cooper.
I mean, this is a team that won 11-6 last year with Joe Flacco. You're telling me Jameis is that big of a step back?
Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, Jameis Winston.
That's an okay offense.
You could be so good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're doing anything like come playoff time. Maybe you win one, but definitely better than anything they've had now.
If you would have just committed to it, you wouldn't. I mean, you'd still have the worst fucking contract in all of sports history, but at least you could be like, at least we're not playing him.
What's crazy, too, is you look at the games, right? Cowboys, they got blown out. But then the Jags, they won. But then the Giants, you only give up 21 points. You're telling me that Jameis couldn't go out there and get more than 21? I think he could. Raiders, you only give up 20, but you only get 16. Jameis wins you that game. Commanders, 34-13. You probably still lose
season,
that.
Have they?
No.
Yeah.
But then Eagles, 20-16. I think Jameis beats the Eagles. And then this week, I think James could have done it. I don't think the Bengals defense is very good. No. Deshaun is just not good, man. Moving on, though, your team, Packers 24, Texans 22. I saw none of this game, but I'll let you go ahead and say what you got to say, and then I have one thing on it.
My couple things is the defense killed the Texans O-line. are we can't stop the run. And Jordan Love is Brett Favre 2.0, gunslinger. He's going to lead the league in picks and touchdowns all at the same time.
That was my point, was that Jordan Love is sometimes the best quarterback in the NFL, but then also sometimes the second worst because nobody's worse than Deshaun. But he makes some bad throws. But you know the thing that pisses me off?
I don't even care.
No, I know. It works out. I mean, you're 5-2.
I would much rather have a quarterback willing to take those risks and make those throws than...
Who's your second loss to? The Vikings. Forgot about that one.
Yes. But I would much rather have a quarterback that's willing to be a gunslinger and make those throws and throw the picks than a conservative quarterback who's just going to dump it down and play boring football.
Fun fact, Vikings-Packers had the same final score as Lions-Vikings. Crazy. Yeah, my only thing was that Jordan Love, his touchdown pass to Musgrave, by the way, or not Musgrave, Kraft, should have been picked.
He threw it too hard. Fucking rocket arm.
Like, he had, I watched it back. They showed the end zone angle. He had Kraft, but for some reason he let him and made him dive and almost led it right to the safety. And that's the type of shit that pisses me off. Like, you should pay for throwing that shit pass, but it doesn't. And then, like, I think I said last year, every time the Lions were about to play the Packers, I'm like, we're going to make Jordan Love pay for all these bad passes he makes. But then he plays the Lions and he like hits a new level where he just plays outrageous. So it'll be interesting to see. We got that game
defense,
in 2 weeks.
very fucking good, and we have a kicker finally.
Yeah, shout out Brandon McManus. Get those demons out the closet. Almost identical finish to the Lions game. Packers drove down the field, got the game-winning field goal. The Lions...
Oh, I forgot to give out the biggest point about this game. MVP Daniel Whalen, our punter. Did you see the final snap on the field goal that won it?
Mm-mm. Was it a bad snap?
Bounced to him.
Oh, shit.
He caught it and had a perfect placement, perfect spin, field goal good.
Now, see, MVP, that's the shit Daniel where Whalen. I hope he got the game ball and not McManus. Because without him, McManus doesn't hit the field goal.
It's true.
He probably didn't, but... anything else? I will say Packers-Lions is going to be an entertaining game this year because you got two defenses that look pretty good, but you got two offenses that can also move the ball.
Yeah, and when the Packers go out and get some defensive help, you know...
Where do you want defensive help?
D-line.
Okay. Are we talking interior or are we talking a rusher? Edge
rusher. There has been a lot of talk about us getting Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I think every team that needs an edge rusher has talk about getting Myles Garrett because mine does too. It's just because the Browns, or maybe not the Browns, somebody reported that the Browns are getting many calls about people fishing for Garrett, and it's like, well, no shit. Your team's a dumpster fire, and any team that wants an edge rusher is going to see what you want.
It's just interesting because I've never had the Packers be like, oh, we're in on this guy, you know?
Did the Packers say it, or our Packers fan account saying it, though?
No, I think it was like beat reporters.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Joe Mixon's still very good at football.
Yes.
Also, Josh Jacobs' first career receiving touchdown.
In 6 years.
6 years. What was it? He's had like 150 catches or something?
No, it's like 220 something.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane.
Colts and Dolphins. I don't have a single thing to say about this game except for Anthony Richardson might be trash.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of people fired.
Is it still might be trash or is trash?
I don't think we can officially deem him trash because he hasn't officially played a full season of games.
Here's the thing is that he's never played a full season in his career. What was that stat I gave out a while ago? He'd only started like 20 games coming into the NFL.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like, that's insane. Like this dude got to the NFL just on like talent and like upside.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Or no, it was 20 games going back to high school, actually, probably.
Thing is,
that's
like,
outrageous.
He is Joe Milton with legs. Like, we compare a lot of people to Joe Milton. This dude is Joe Milton with legs.
Yep. That's exactly what it is, because he's got an arm. I will say he's completed more deep ball passes than I've seen Joe Milton complete, though. I've watched a lot of Joe Milton.
That's true.
And then game of the week, Lions-Vikings. This game was like not even biased, this is the game of the week. It was. I'm not going to sit here and break down every little thing. I did that last week when I was doing my solo pod. But I'm going into every game thinking we can beat this team. It's no longer – this was the last game where I'm going to be like, man, that's a tough team we're going up against. No, we've got the best offense in the NFL. I kind of flirted with it last week. This is the best offense in the NFL. Even with Monty getting banged up, that scared the fuck out of me. Fumbling, trying to give the game to the Vikings. And then we literally, it looks like we were like, all right, let's stop playing around. Because that drive to get into field goal range was easy. It was the least nerve-wracking drive of my life. It was amazing. Defense looked great. I think we have one of the top 5 secondaries in the league. I think the Packers are right there as well before you say, whoa. We've got the best safety duo in the league.
You said top 5?
Lions are top 5. Packers are top 5 as well. You got what? Jair, Xavier McKinney. I'll push
Valentine.
I'm not too well versed in my secondaries. I just know that the Lions is very good. We definitely have the best safety combo in the league. We have 2 safeties that both have 4 picks, top 3 in interceptions. And then you've got Terrion Arnold, who is, he's having a great year now because you're not seeing him. He is locking guys down and he's not getting flagged. Nobody's throwing his way anymore. Jefferson was held to under 100 yards. That I got to give that shout out to Carlton Davis. He was on him most of the day. But that's just a great day. You keep one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL to under 100. That's great. That's great.
I'd say it's good considering what he's done to you guys in the past.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it was like fantastic. He still had like 6 or 8 receptions for 80 something yards and a
7
touchdown.
for 81 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Now the touchdown that he got, he was covered by our 3rd string somehow. So that was a mismatch. Good on the Vikings to get that. Great catch. Great throw. So in my eyes, though, he was covered up by our 3rd quarterback because you got Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, and then it was Amik Robertson that was on him somehow. I don't know how that happened. But Gibbs, great day. Monty, rough day, fumbled, but he'll be okay. The other Lions news, Jameson Williams got popped for something. There's a lot of speculation. But what do you think? I want to know your opinion.
As far as what he got popped for?
No, just like, what do you think of this suspension? Are you like, oh, this guy's I see 2 sides. I see my side of, well, this isn't that big of a deal. It's only a 2-game suspension. And then the other side of, this guy's a clown. He got suspended for gambling. Now he's suspended for a substance. What side are you on? Or are you somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle. I think there's a very high potential he could just be a bust. Like if you can't
say that with what he's shown this year.
Well, no. So hear me out. I saw a stat. I don't remember who it was comparing him to, and it was like so and so before they got popped for PEDs was like really good. After they got popped for PEDs was buns, and JMO was pretty much the same thing. And I was kind of like,
well, maybe... it's not a PED though, or else it would have been more games.
Yes, it was.
PEDs is minimum 6 games, and then so it was. Here's the things that I saw. It was either a dietary supplement that's not allowed, or something like Adderall, or something. What was a masking agent? So that's what I lean towards. Is JMO smokes weed and had a drug test, so he took this thing so they can't see the weed. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Performance enhancing drug, you're minimum 6 games, usually 8. So that's why I'm unconcerned with it. But I think these people that don't dive into it as much as I did, like a lot of people were like, oh, he popped an Adderall. Or the joke is that he took a honey pack, which for those that don't know, that gets your dick hard.
I think I'm not concerned about it just because the Lions don't scare me.
Oh, you're going to regret that one. Mark it. 104, episode 118. Franke's not scared of the Lions. I don't expect you to be. Your team's good. But I think you're going to regret that when we absolutely beat the brakes off of you. But the only other thing about JMO is that the other reason I'm confident it's not a PED is that he was popped in quotes after going 1 reception for -4 yards. So nobody's random drug testing him after that performance. So I think it was earlier in the week or maybe day of, and the NFL probably has the best tests in the world. And they were like, oh, he took this so he doesn't test positive for weed. So you're banned for 2 weeks. And if that's the case, you're still dumb. Like, why are you smoking weed during the season? Do that in the off season when you can get away with it. But we'll see. He's having a very good year. So not mad at him. He's also my guy. So moving on, though, because once again, shock, we're going long. Eagles over the Giants, easy. Saquon went off. Cool clip of Sirianni going up to him saying, hey, you need 13 yards for your personal best. And he goes, nah, let these other guys eat. Very cool.
Great revenge game. 28-3 Eagles, by the way. You didn't say score.
God damn, I knew I didn't, too. Rams over the Raiders, 20-15. This game was close. Almost had my upset there. I needed the Raiders for Paige's picks. Yeah, boring game. Brock Bowers, though, eating. 10 receptions for 93 yards. He's basically all they got.
I was going to say he's the only option.
I'm excited for Jacoby Myers to get back. I might be starting him in my league. We'll see. Might need to. Commanders over the Panthers. It's looking like Jane Daniels is Commanders 40, Panthers 7. It's looking like Jane Daniels is going to be all right. They're saying they're
severe
hopeful.
doubt he's not going to play this week.
Ooh, see, I saw the opposite. I saw they're hopeful he'll play. That's what Dan Quinn said in his presser. Different pages. Who do they play this week? Do they need him? Yeah, the Bears. The Bears. Yeah. That's right. So,
I want him to play this week. I would love to see Caleb versus Jaden.
Yeah. I saw his mom tweeted that he's fine. Hashtag, whatever their hashtag is, hail to the Commanders or something. Marcus Mariota came in, though, and didn't look bad. Then again, it was the Panthers.
So I was going to say, is it Marcus Mariota might not be horrible, or is it the Panthers defense?
No, I think we know Mariota's horrible. He was moving around pretty good. He was running pretty good. But I think it's the Panthers, and you could put anybody against the Panthers. They're going to look fine. You could put Bryce Young on the Commanders against the Panthers. He's going to look like a first overall pick.
I don't know about that. Is Marcus Mariota the biggest Heisman to make the NFL and just be so bad?
Jamarcus Russell.
Good point.
That's definitely number one.
Yeah.
And then I think Ryan Leaf won the Heisman too.
I was going to say more in the last, in my memory, but
I think Russell fits your memory. He's kind of right before we remember watching football.
Yeah,
but
no,
I
agree.
It.
Russell. I agree with Russell.
I think he won the Heisman, right?
I think so.
Had to have Jamarcus Russell Heisman. No, I don't know though. Maybe not. Russell is a Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was quick. Chiefs over the Niners, 28-18. Purdy without his weapons. Bust. Like I said.
And he lost another.
Take away his 4 All-Pros, and he's terrible. We'll see how he is this week because he's possibly – Ayuk's done for the year, tore his ACL. Debo's probably out. He's got pneumonia. McCaffrey still doesn't have legs. Haven't seen him. And then now Kittle's banged up as well. So he's going to be throwing to Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, and maybe Juwan Jennings.
Big week for Ricky Pearsall.
This will be the true test of, is my take correct? Because I feel like Ricky Pearsall is decent. It's not like he's throwing to bums like Baker's about to be. He's got Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, who have shown they're good. But I saw some people on Twitter that are starting to get on my side. They're like, Brock Purdy when Debo and McCaffrey can't take his screens 75 yards to the house. And it was like somebody throwing a shit ball. And I'm like, I knew it.
If you want Ricky Pearsall in either fantasy league, hit me up.
Yeah. I will say, though, Mahomes, most overrated quarterback in the league right now this year.
He's been so bad this year.
He's been horrible, and he's the MVP favorite. What are we talking about?
Lamar, that should be Lamar easy.
It might be. This was prior to last night's games that I looked. But Mahomes was the favorite at plus 350. Then it was Lamar. Then it was Josh Allen. Then it was Goff. And I'm like, this is the most ass-backwards thing. Lamar probably is now, I'd say. But this was still yesterday, so Monday, after the Chiefs game, after, he didn't look good. Also, another bitch, and then we'll move. But his run where he faked going out of bounds, and they're gloating like it's a good play. That's a bad play. People are afraid to hit him because they're going to get a flag.
Fucking get lit up.
I wish they would pull the
Packers did that.
Somebody did it last year to Mahomes, got a flag. Jonathan Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wish they would do that because I hate it. And he's like, it's the longest run of his career, and what a great play. No, he knows he can take advantage of them not wanting to hit him because they're going to get a flag. It's the most ass-backward thing. Bring back football.
By the way, MVP standings, odds-wise, Lamar Jackson plus 225, Patrick Mahomes plus 475, Josh Allen plus 500, Jared Goff plus 850.
Good.
Jordan
as long
Love
as,
plus 1,300 right behind Jared Goff.
As long as Mahomes is not first, because that doesn't make sense. He's having the same year as Daniel Jones. He's got the same picks and less touchdowns.
No, I thought it was same touchdowns, more picks.
It might have been that too. I don't know. I just know that I tried to say Daniel Jones was having a better year, but you can't really argue.
Let's get to the real game of the week.
Jets and Steelers.
Steelers
win 37-15.
Russ proving game.
Hey, Russ in the first quarter was, he's still washed.
Horrible.
Second quarter he did all right, but then second half Russie, it was like, oh, the rust is off.
You know what it was? It was fuck it. George Pickens is down there somewhere.
That's 100% what it was.
And it
George
worked.
Pickens, 111 yards, 5 catches, and a touchdown. Also, 40 of those yards, though, should be revoked. I mean, this thing was ripped out of his hands. It jumped up. It hit his shoulder pad, back in his hands, ripped out again, and then he caught it, went to the ground. Like, that was ridiculous.
Great throw.
But Aaron Rodgers, washed?
Russ still got it. No, I think...
Okay.
No, I'm kind of over... Not kind of over. I'm fully over Rodgers at this point in my life. And the whole Devontae trade and him already being at his house really pissed me off. I wish I was here for that last week because probably would have got a nice rant out of me. They can both go fucking die.
What about Devontae? Is he washed? He had some bad drops.
I said that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he had some bad drops. He had some drops. But maybe that's the case of not.
You want to know how to stop him? Let Devontae run a 10-yard route and a comeback and just be on his back shoulder because that's the only place Rodgers throws to him. So, need a defensive coordinator. Hit me up.
Monday night, Cardinals over the Chargers 17-15, snoozer game of the week. But Ravens-Bucks, this game to me was a blowout, and I went to bed, and then it turns out the Bucks kind of fought back. However, Mike Evans out until week 11, and Chris Godwin, 1 minute left in the game. You're down 10, no timeouts, and he's still out there. Dislocated his ankle, likely done for the year. What are we doing?
Likely done for his career.
No.
I don't know if you saw the video when he was getting put onto the cart, and you could see him say, "My career's done."
No,
yeah, I knew it.
You need to look closer at his mouth because that was also that account is ML Football. They lie all the time. I saw the same tweet. There was another angle from right behind the cart, and he said, "Back to work." Because I saw the same thing. I was like, and then he's 28 years old. It was a dislocated ankle. He's going to play.
Yeah.
There's no way he's in that cart and said, "My career's over." So I saw the same thing, though, and I was going to put it on our notes here, but he's 28. It just sucks for him.
Hand up. Thanks for correcting me. I got
wrong. You. He was having a great year, too, and Baker's been dealing, and now he's got to throw to Jalen McMillan, wide receiver 1.
Rashad White.
Cade Otton. Cade Otton's going to be hot on the waivers this week.
Yeah.
I think I got to snag him in one league. I got the.
I have a concern for the other Monday night game.
Okay. Marvin Harrison.
I'm very afraid of Marvin Harrison Jr. being bad.
He's not though. It's just Kyler isn't looking for him enough. I saw
which is weird because he should be the only target that Kyler can see considering their heights.
Yeah. I saw 3 separate plays on Twitter. There was one. It was a nasty double move, wide open down the seam.
And he overthrew him. Yeah.
Overthrew him. And then the other 2, Kyler scrambled too early, went to the left side of the field. Harrison's wide open on the right side. So not bust potential yet. Because it's not like he's dropping balls. He's just they're struggling.
I'm very worried for my fantasy team. I almost started fielding offers.
I think he might win. I mean, he still had 6 targets for 3 catches, so maybe he's a bust. I don't know. We'll see. Let's fly on Paige's picks then. Let me pull up my notes app here, actually.
Yeah, you really could have used that Raiders one last week, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I went 8-1 through Thursday and Sunday's 1 o'clock slate, and then I fell off. So last week, Austin 10-2. I was 9-3. Paige 8-4. Hey, Paige, almost 500. Keep clawing at it. First game up, Vikings at the Rams, Thursday Night Football.
Paige is taking the Vikings, but she wants the Rams, though. I will also take the Vikings. I don't know. It was a toss-up for me. I'm going to take the Vikings, though.
Taking the Rams for 2 reasons. 1, quick turnaround game. They just played Sunday. Got to go to LA Thursday night now. And then I'm just going with that stat about teams after they play the Lions. They don't cover.
Shit, that's the
don't
second
win.
week I forgot about that.
Well, last week it didn't matter. Dallas was on a bye. But I'm taking the Rams. Eagles at the Bengals.
Paige taking the Bengals. I'm going to take the Eagles. I think it's a shootout. I think it's the game of the week.
I hope it's a shootout for my fantasy team, but I did place a future on the Bengals to make the playoffs, so I'm riding with the Bengals.
When do we play each other in fantasy?
No idea. Which league? Because I think both leagues are going to be interesting.
I don't play you on week 12 when Burrow and Chase are both out. I'm going to look right now. You can keep going.
Okay. Ravens at the Browns. I'm going to make this one quick. We all have the Ravens. That's a gimme. Although it could be interesting with Jameis because the Ravens secondary doesn't look good. Titans at the Lions. I'll keep this one quick as well. We're all on the Lions. Congratulations, Paige. You finally realized that the best team in the NFL, best offense in the NFL wins games. I believe she had 3 weeks in a row she picked against the Lions until this one because she took the Vikings, she took the Cowboys, and then the week before she took who did we play before the Vikings or the Cowboys? We opened the year against the Rams, then we went Bucks, then we went Cardinals. Who was after the Cardinals?
I don't know.
Not important. We're all in the Lions. Way to go, Paige. Cardinals at the Dolphins. First one, we got a difference. Paige is on the Cardinals. I'm on the Cardinals as well, just for the reason of I don't think Tua plays.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. Can I do it Dolphins if Tua plays?
You can do that if you allow me to later. I've got another one where I did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you're taking the Dolphins if Tua plays. You're taking the Cardinals if Tua is out.
Did you see the video of Tua in his press conference?
Talking about not wearing the Guardian cap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idiot.
It's dumb. I don't one, why are you playing? Two, why would you not wear the only thing that could help this thing that keeps happening to you?
So I was asked, or I texted Paige the picks today, and I told her Tua might play this week, and she said, I might change to the Dolphins, but I'm not sure. And then I said, Cardinals won yesterday, so it's not like they're bad, and if Tua doesn't play, then the Cards are probably going to win. So Tua has 1 foot in the grave. So, Yikes. And then I told her about the press conference, and she said, Jesus Christ, he's dumb as fuck. Does he want to die? He's going to permanently damage his brain. So, yeah.
You're freezing up on me. Hopefully this isn't going south here. Jets at the Patriots will make this easy. We've all got the Jets. Even though I took the Pats as a long shot this week, I guarantee that no matter what, I get one of them right. Falcons at the Bucks. We're all on the Falcons. I don't think the Bucks can compete now that they don't have any weapons.
Yeah.
And the Falcons are due for a bounce back.
Yep.
Packers at the Jags. We're all on the Packers. That's easy. London games are done now, right? All we have is that shitty Germany game now, right?
Yeah, the World War III reboot.
Yeah. Wow, lots of agreements this week again. Colts at the Texans. We're all on the Texans. Saints at the Chargers. Paige is taking the Saints.
I took the Chargers because I said disgusting.
I took the Chargers because they're going to blow out the Saints.
I don't.
At home?
I just don't know.
Jim Harbaugh, I love him. He was so animated in that game on Monday. I love that guy. Huh?
Slurper.
Maybe a little bit. All right, you and I got the Chargers there. Bills at the Seahawks. We're all on the Bills, even though I do think there's a chance the Seahawks win this game. Like I said last week, they're slept on. But the Bills are a great team. They're going to win this one. And they got weapons now on offense, more weapons. So Panthers at the Broncos. You want to say something about this one? I thought this was easy Broncos, but you put puke by it.
I think I'm most disgusted by the spread. Broncos should never be a 9-point favorite against anybody.
The Panthers are generationally bad.
The Broncos aren't that good.
No, their defense is phenomenal, though, and they'll get Pat Surtain back this week. That's why I think
their offense isn't good.
That's why I think it's the Panthers are only going to put up max of 3. The books are thinking Broncos can put up 14. At home,
disgusting.
This is the week to take Bo Nix 200+, except it's going to be minus 180. All right, moving on. Chiefs at the Raiders, another layup. Chiefs, we're all over it.
I almost take the Raiders, I'm not going to lie. If I have a thing where I take the Raiders against the Chiefs, especially at home, because for some reason a couple years ago I talked myself into the Chiefs beating the Raiders when they play them. It's just not true. So,
yep. Bears at the Commanders. Paige is on the Commanders. I want the Commanders if Jaden plays, but I get the Bears if he doesn't. We agree?
Fair. I'll take the Bears.
Deal.
Regardless.
Okay. All right. And then Sunday night, Cowboys at the Niners. Paige has the Cowboys. I'm taking the Niners.
I'm going to take the Cowboys. Fresh off a bye, Niners too banged up for me.
I think the Cowboys are just bad, though. I mean, the way I did this one in my head, right, was if the Lions and Niners played with how banged up the Niners are, I said the Lions would beat the Niners 31-10, but we beat the Cowboys by 40. So, therefore, the 49ers will win this game by 20.
Okay.
It's also, I love at the Niners. That stadium's going to be rocking. It's going to be a do-or-die game. You lose this game and go 3-5, your fans are going to start turning on you. You just went to the Super Bowl, and now you're 3-5. So, and then finally, Monday night, Giants at the Steelers. This is my puke game of the week.
That's fair. Paige is taking the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers as my Russ proved it game.
So I'm taking the Giants as my I got to make one dumbass pick a week. That's all I did. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. I'm a Steelers hater, I think. I hate that they've got an incredible defense, but no offense to do anything with it. Because I picture Lions offense with that defense. Like, just trade TJ Watt already. Give him to the Lions. So that wraps us up, though, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.
Survivor.
Oh, I forgot about your Survivor. Look at that.
I'm taking the Lions this week.
I know. I hated it. I don't like that because I want to root for your Survivor to lose, but I can't. Now I got to root for you to make it another week.
I'm on a run, 4 straight.
We got to make sure you don't start repeating.
I'm keeping track.
Okay. All right. Are you done now? Are we done now? An hour 22 in, longest episode ever. We just can't keep it under an hour. I don't know what it is.
Because I'm back. You just missed me too much.
Yeah. I think it's also I'm King Yapper, and then you get yapping too, and then we just have a Yap Fest. Yap Fest 2024. Weekly.
Right now.
Check it out next week. Check out our Yap Fest next week. Have a great weekend. Let's hit the takes, doors, and tutties. We'll see you next week.
Peace.